happening everywhere, not just in the U.S., but wherever human population is rapidly growing. It is known as urban sprawl, the cutting down of trees and vegetation to make way for housing developments, offices, and shopping centers. When man's bulldozers move in, a way of life moves out. Not only the wildlife, but also its people are forced to move. This story is about Mountain View Campground, which is nestled at the foot of Bull Run Mountain, otherwise affectionately known as Paradise. It's a place where families have come for many years, some going back for 3 or more generations. It's not just a campground, it's one big family, a community, and a way of life. Mountain View Campground has been a campground ever since 1972. Prior to that, it was for recreational purposes. People from all over the world visited then and still continue to return today. But now, that is all about to change. Recently, property developers saw an opportunity to make money in this area. But what they didn't see is that there is more to the area that they want to buy than a dollar bill. It is a living, breathing place with heart, not only in itself, but also in the people that cherish it.
I think the full meaning of this campground is the fact that my daughter-in-law's grandparents have been coming out here for 30 some odd years and brought their 4 boys, and they grew up out at this campground. And I don't know how many years that entails, but it's probably over 40 years. And they're the ones that introduced us to it out here. And when my boys were little, we lived in the city of Falls Church. It was all about organized sports and everything being structured, and Little League and baseball and football and all this other stuff. And nothing about going out to the wilds and going out to a campground and seeing nature at its greatest and fishing and things like that. It wasn't until, like I say, 4 years ago that we got involved in it. But now I've got 6 grandkids. The atmosphere that's at the campground is almost like it's one big family. And like I say, I've only been here 4 years. And I still know everybody that's involved with the campground, the horseshoe tournaments. And, you know, it's just great to get out here. And even the kids intermingle with all the other kids. There's no hostility. There's no structure to anything that they do. They get away from the city, the schoolwork and everything out, and come out here and just totally relax and do what kids are supposed to do. And to get rid of that, I think, is just a shame. That's all there is to it. Whoever buys this deserves to make money off it. That's just the American way. But at the same time, if there's an alternative that could keep that here, they could still make their money, they could still do something maybe on the other side and retain this as the campground that it is. Maybe the county comes in. I don't know all of that stuff, but I just think that everybody should be searching for an alternative to what they're going to do right now.
Well, when they come here, we could save this place. When they come here, we could tell them not to build houses. I was born here, and I was playing here when I was a baby.
We've been camping here since 1972, and we absolutely love it. We raised both boys were here. It was a second home because we only lived 45 minutes from here. But it meant a lot to get away because we lived in a city-type atmosphere, and just bringing the boys so they could go and we trusted. You know, we felt safe here to let them do that. And it gave time for my husband and myself to be together by ourselves. And it was just beautiful out here at nighttime. When we would come down Route 15 and get almost to Haymarket, you could just feel yourself just all tensions releasing. And it was the greatest thing. And then when we started to go home, it was like, oh, Lordy. But it was great. Everybody here has been great. The campground is just absolutely beautiful. And everybody should have a place to go like this. It just should. It's very, very important. When we called the government officials, who you're supposed to call, their reaction was, there's other campgrounds around. Yes, but you're stuck out in the field, and it's not like this one. You don't know who you're going to be around. You don't know what type of campground you're running into. Just because it says a family campground does not mean that's what it's going to be. You go someplace else, we have no idea. And we are older people, and we feel safe here. Feel safe. And I'm scared to go someplace else. I don't know how it'll be. So, this is my home. This is where I want to be. This is where my kids grew up.
We love this place. We hate to see it closed. There's no reason to close it. The only reason they want to close it is because there's big business and big money, and the Toll Brothers, a lot of houses and millionaire homes and so on and so forth. Why ruin paradise? We have a permanent spot here we've had for the last 9 years. We love it here. We pay our money to come here. And there's friendly people here, family people. We have every major weekend, there's people come from Maryland in big groups, and we play horseshoes and have just a lot of good, clean family fun. I've spent over half my life coming out here. I come here because I like it. I have a lot of memories here. And again, there's other campgrounds. We went to 2 today. They're not the same. They never will be the same. But they're also another hour and a half from my house. Why should I have to do that? And again, it's not the same thing. We've met a lot of good people here, friends we'll have for life. And we just hate to see this place closed down. There's got to be another alternative for big business to make their money and still leave this place alone.
I am Michael Kiefer, and I serve as the Executive Director of Bull Run Mountains Conservancy. On the Bull Run Mountains that you see over my shoulder, we maintain an 800-acre natural area with 10 miles of hiking trails. Our mountains provide a spectacular resource filled with beautiful vistas and unique Piedmont forest communities. What we lack is open water and old fields. Over the past 5 years, we've established a wonderful relationship with Mountain View Campground. A mile from the Bull Run Mountains, this resource provides our campers a chance to swim in a real lake. The lake provides opportunities to view and learn about turtles, fish, and waterfowl, as well as a suite of other wildlife and flora that we do not find on the mountains. Developers will disappear, but Prince William County residents will be stuck with their imprints forever. It is our hope that this vital western Prince William County resource will remain open to the public in all of its grandeur for years to come.
I would say that for the people who don't think that they think that this is just an ordinary campground, that this place isn't. This place has like heart in everyone that runs it, and they all help out everybody no matter what happens. I mean, there's times where like people are really down, and I mean, everybody just like helps everyone out. Also, me and my dad, we always come down here like every single winter, and we're constantly working on the campground no matter who's here. Half the time it's just us, and there's no water, and we use a bucket and everything else. And like we'll fix water pipes. We winterize people's trailers for them, and we have fun doing it even though it's a crappy job and it's freezing cold outside. We still do it because we want to help other people out here, and it's just that kind of a community here. I have been coming to Mountain View Campground since I was a baby, and I'm almost 17 now, so that's like 17 years of my life here every summer and some winters. And my dad grew up here when he was in diapers, and I've grown up here since I was in diapers, and I only feel that it's fair if my kids got a chance to grow up here in diapers. And this neighbor, like, it's basically a neighborhood, and it's so safe here. My dad never has to worry about when I'm out or how late, and he knows like that everyone will take care of me, and if there's no food at the trailer that weekend, that I can get it off of anybody. And I've missed like my homecoming. I've missed like all my homecomings. I've missed my prom. I've missed football games to come to this campground because this is like my second home.
My name is Ken Bass. I'm the naturalist with the Bull Run Mountains Conservancy. Mountain View Campground, formerly Silver Lake, is an important stopover and resting place in the Northern Virginia Piedmont for migrating waterfowl, Bonaparte gulls, bald eagles, ospreys, and other species. Several species of ducks winter on the lake. There are also beavers, muskrats, and river otters that call this lake home. This property should be preserved as it is, not only for wildlife, but for the people of Northern Virginia, especially the residents of Prince William County, where this property is located. It would be a shame to lose this property to development. Where else in Northern Virginia can you boat, fish, camp, picnic, and swim?
I feel kind of sad about losing this place because it reminds me of so much memories with my dad and what we have been through. And the joy of having this place is just, it has been so long that we can't really do anything else if this place goes away, and we can't really do anything. If we sell this place, we can't really do anything about it because this place is going to be gone.
We don't know where we're gonna go if this place leaves. We shouldn't have to think about it. This is the place where we've grown up. We shouldn't have to think about leaving it.
Happy birthday to me.
We're not even grown up yet. We have more memories to make. And I can't see myself making memories in any other place. They're paving over our memories. We're not. And I say that because we can't even come back here. It's gonna be gone. It's gonna be private. We can't even come back and visit. Not even visit. There are memories.
The folks on the campground. Two things, I would direct your efforts two other places. To the board, as I mentioned earlier, if you want to come to speak at citizens' time, we do that at 2 o'clock and at 7:30, both sessions of our board meetings. We meet first, second, and third Tuesday of every month. And let them know of your concerns. I don't fundamentally believe that we've got funds available in the Park Authority for land acquisition today. I mean, there's a bond that they're scheduled in the next couple of years for green space, but obviously the timing is now. Secondly, I would approach Toll Brothers directly and see if there's something that I think you mentioned earlier.
They won't meet with us.
They won't
meet us. They won't talk to anybody.
Really?
They tell us to go to you.
My question to you is, if that come before you, would you vote for the increased density that the property they have, or would you vote against it?
I've really been hesitant to vote for any increased densities on projects. I don't know how much you followed my voting record on these things, but they've presented to me, at least verbally, a number of different iterations on their plan, and it's changed, and I think it's probably changed again. Right. So I really don't know what we're dealing with, because they're talking about a couple other contiguous properties as well as yours, right. And it's really a moving target, and this has been going on for several months.
They came in with an application initially for so many homes. We lived there, we purchased a home there, and we lived real close to the campground and real close to a land bay 3B, where they want to go from 26, this is not 55 and over, to 119 homes. Okay, when we bought in a master zoned planned community, with land bays designated for this many houses here and here and here, where we have a country club, where we have a pool, where we all share amenities, our rights are infringed when they come back to the table and say, by the way, we want to buy cheaper land, and we're going to dangle this over your head and give you a park and all of this so we can move right into this land bay and smack 100 more homes. How can they constitutionally do that and get away with it? Why is the planning office letting this application move forward? This is two separate issues. to the Supreme Court, we would probably win, to the application with the master zone plan community, I think it's wrong. And I think we need to rethink what we will allow in terms of blackmail in order to get more schools.
Right.
If they couldn't get the schools and buy the land, in land planning and schools and acquisition, then we have a real problem with where our tax money is going to plan for our future and our kids.
Talking about looking at the big picture, but I suspect you're looking at the big picture with blinders on. You've got Somerset that's not completely built out. You've got offers on the table for development on Old Carolina Road here,
Correct.
Carver Road here, more development on 29 here, development over here in the campground area. You've got this whole section on 55 between here and 29 that you're building that town center, the condos, the townhouses, and everything else with hundreds of units in there. You come out on this road in the morning at anywhere from 6 to 8, 6 to 9, and you can't move. The traffic from the stoplight, 15, backs up into town. You're adding several hundred, if not thousands of units between here and 29. The traffic backs up on Gallagher all the way past the intersection with 55. It backs up from 29 all the way down to Gallagher and past. In fact, it's halfway to Tyler now. You're putting in all of this stuff without any improvements. You're going to add 6,800 more units here. You know, it doesn't make any sense. And then I'm watching your Board of Supervisors meeting, and you're talking about the Wentworth Green, and I hear the planning office come up and make a very interesting comment when they were justifying approval of the Wentworth Green, and that was that the Gainesville sector plan, at least in part, is invalid now. She made a good point. People buy their houses. If they do their due diligence, they have a expectation of what the surrounding property is going to be used for. And then you change the use. I have a real problem with granting the developers increases in density to do this sort of development without real changes to the infrastructure prior to the development. I mean, historically, it seems that you guys have done that for the last 10 years. You've created an absolute mess. 5 years from now, not even 5 years, 2 years from now, you're not going to be able to move on 55. It's over. And there's nothing we can do about it at this point in time. You've got more development going on Carpet, and my question to you would be, why didn't the planning office, when you guys approved all of the development on Carpet, the development up here on 55 between Haymarket and 29, why weren't the why weren't the necessary improvements to the infrastructure, roads, whatever, made at that point in time and made prior to granting the developers and the applicants, prior to the approval of those units? I mean, we're stuck, and there's nothing that you can do to fix it at this point in time. One more question and I'll be done. You've got several applications coming up on Carver and Carolina in the next couple of months.
Correct.
All purportedly in compliance with the Gainesville sector plan.
That's correct.
If the Gainesville sector plan is not valid for Wentworth Green, then how is it valid down here? And that's the one question I would like answered. How can it be invalid in one circumstance and valid in the other?
Look around. I challenge you to look around at this campground and see what's here and tell me that you can't come up here and relax. I don't know that everybody in the county knows this campground. It really exists and what goes on, what we do up here as a big family. And that's the way we look at it. We're all part of a big family up here.
If this place does close, developers supersede and charm the county into, giving them a lot more density for a few acres here for parks, I guess a school. They don't know what school they're going to put here or what parks they're going to put here or what monies they're going to have to develop such features. Where I would go, I don't know. I don't know where my kids would go. All these years, it's kept both my children and my grandchildren in a straight path. I invite any one of you to drive up right now, any weekend or weekdays, up 66 or anywhere. Can you get here in 15, 20 minutes? No. It's going to take you 2 hours from Arlington to get here because of the traffic, because of the density. Let's don't keep feeding that. Let's stop it now. We've been camping up here for approximately 30 years. I would love for you to check the records to see how many times you sent the police up here. Check and see. I doubt if you'll see even 1 or 2 times that whole 30 years. I can come up here, I can set my kids free, they can roam all around this whole campground. Can you do that at your house? No, I don't think so.
In all the years I've been coming up here, there hasn't been theft or vandalism, there hasn't been rape or murder, there hasn't been drugs, there hasn't been anything other than everyone spending time together and doing things that a lot of other kids are missing out on, and it's too bad that they did. It's more than a vacation, it's better than paradise because it's right here, it's at our back door, and building houses where there's already a gazillion homes, it just doesn't make sense. It's not just my parents that are losing out, it's all the other families that we spend Saturday nights with at potluck dinners, and Halloween, Oktoberfest, and Christmas, even when the campground's closed, 4th of July, all of the holidays, all of the big events where all the families get together. All of us, we're all going to lose that. The town is going to be stuck with more houses. The town is going to be stuck with more traffic, cars, people, more grocery stores and more shopping centers. And I think we've got more than our share of that. We don't need more of that. We need a place that we can go to and relax, that's clean and safe. And that's what Mountain View is.
There is so many houses up here. It's ridiculous. People moving from the city to the country. Shoot, there's not any more country. When my kids, grandkids grow up, they won't even know what country is because there won't be any country. They'll all be nothing but townhouses and big homes for rich people, not for the poor people or the middle-aged people or the old people.
They shouldn't take the campground away because it's been a lot of fun here, and all the things here, like the birds and the animals and of course the lake and all the snakes, it's just not fair to them, and especially us.
Tired of the development around. I'm tired of Toll Brothers taking things away from me. They took the house I grew up in, which is now $1 million homes. I think this should be preserved as a campground, as a family place, a family gathering with good people. And I really don't know what I'm going to do if it should close. And I just hope that there's some way that we can save it for my children and their children and for family, because I think it's more important than the dollar bill.
Just climbed out of a cottonwood tree. I was running from some honeybees, drip drying in the summer breeze. After jumping into Ecological Creek, I was walking down an old dirt road, past a field of hay that had just been mowed. Man, I wish you just left me alone, 'cause I was almost home. Then he said, I was just coming round the barn about the time you grabbed my arm, when I heard Mama holler, son, hurry up. I was close enough for my old nose to smell fresh cobbler on the stove, and I saw Daddy loading up the truck. Cane poles on the tailgate, bobbers blowing in the wind. Since July of '55, that's as close as I've been. Yeah, I just climbed out of a cottonwood tree, where I was running from some honeybees, drip drying in the summer breeze. Said, boy, if you left me alone, right now I'd be fishing. I just climbed out of a cottonwood tree. I was running from some honeybees, drip drying in the summer breeze. After jumping into Calico Creek, I was walking down an old dirt road, past a field of hay that had just been mowed. Man, I wish you just left me alone, 'cause I was almost home.